Hello again.
Hello. So last time, quickly before you go into your question, we were talking about Ninja Turtles, and upon further reflection, right away, I was thinking, I'm probably more Michelangelo. You're probably more Leonardo. And then we did a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle personality test. Oh, dogs are bugging us. Sorry for the interruption. Did a personality test, and we both came up Leonardo. But I really think I've been thinking about this a lot. I think I'm more Donatello.
But the internet said you were Leonardo, though.
I know. But a lot of the questions were like, what kind of pizza topping would you have?
And that's science, so I'm not sure why you're faulting it here.
I don't know.
So are you firmly saying that you're Donatello then?
A combination. I can be a leader. I like being the leader, but I prefer being a lone wolf.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
You're not great at teamwork.
No.
Again, the irony that we're talking about a family podcast as we're having this revelation. What is your favorite pizza topping? I know, but I want the world to know how gross it is.
Pineapple and something hot, like banana peppers.
And
our jalapeno.
And pretty much every vegetable you can find, including spinach.
Oh, yeah. I like fully loaded, but I absolutely, doesn't matter what kind I have. There's a lot of noise happening. Just trying to get the dogs out of here. No matter what kind of pizza I have, though, pineapple and hot banana peppers or jalapeno must be on there.
And do you enjoy a good crust, or would you prefer something thin as cardboard and flavorless?
I pretty much scrape everything off the crust anyway. But then if it is a good crust, I usually go back and I scrape it all off, eat it with a fork, and then I go back and put peanut butter and jam on it.
I want people to understand that what she's basically saying she likes for pizza is hot salad. That's essentially what she eats for pizza. And it's so gross.
When I make it, it's so good. When I make it at home, I'll just put all the ingredients into a dish, no crust. And then, I eat it like a bowl of pizza toppings.
All right.
It's so good. And then if there is crust, I get the bonus of having peanut butter and jam pizza crust for dessert.
Excellent.
What's your favorite topping?
I'm pretty simple. I like
meat.
Good. Nah, because then it gets too much. It's like when you go for ice cream and they're like, oh, it's got 17 different flavors and like double chocolate.
Meat,
but I'm even saying
pepperoni.
Pepperoni's good, but you don't need to be like pepperoni and salami, like 20,000 different types. Just keep it simple. Mm-hmm. Cheese is a bit too simple. It needs to have something on it, but beyond that, you really don't need to go crazy. Some mushrooms. For
me, the sauce. The sauce makes or breaks a pizza. It's got to be a really good sauce. Fair enough. A tomato sauce. I'm not a barbecue, Alfredo. They're okay to taste it, to have it. It's good. But if I'm going to hunker down with the pizza, it's got to have a real good tomato sauce.
There you go. Who's the best tomato sauce?
I can't think of off the top of my head.
Just know it when you eat it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a good thing this podcast is free.
Anyway, what's the question of the day?
So question of the day is around...
why? Do people have to pay for podcasts?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Shameless is a pay for now.
Is it?
Yeah, on some platforms. And then they've got advertising all the way through it.
Oh, yeah.
We could start doing advertising, like just general items around our house and see if they'll comp it to us.
If anybody wants a filing cabinet, actually.
Yeah, come pick it up. Save me a trip to the dump. Okay.
Perfect.
Today's question is about sleeping, specifically sleeping with your kid.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So there's always two paths for my questions, but there's how do you avoid it to begin with?
Mm-hmm.
But if you've made the choice at some point to co-sleep, how and when should you try and correct that behavior?
I'm interested in what you're going to say first.
So So did you just make me ask myself my own question to this episode? Is that
Well,
how we're starting?
Because I've, of course,
All right.
do a lot of this and coach parents around this.
All right,
And so
sorry,
before I give my wonderful wisdom.
So for me, yeah, I'm not a huge fan of it.
Of co-sleeping.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, I say that with basically the only time that we co-sleep is a lot of times when we're on the road for the kids' sports stuff,
Yeah.
right? We have to, there's no configuration that works. So it's usually one parent, one kid, and off you go. In the house, we've never been huge proponents of it. If the girls convince you that they want to have a girls' sleepover and I ditch out to the spare room and you guys have the big bed to yourself, that's rare. But yeah, we always took a bit of a hard stance. I think at the beginning I was far more open to it. Like, oh, if it's just easier, let's just bring her to bed and go to sleep. A lot of nights I was pretty sure I rolled over and crushed the kid though when we did that. Pretty positive.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't, both survived. So that's a win for me. But yeah, I think over time I realized, like with anything, right? Like again, my approach to it at the beginning was I didn't really have an opinion. So I was always looking for the easiest path. And I would say that's probably what gets most people is if I can just get them to be quiet, it's fine. So it's a concession. We had Maya sleep beside us in a bassinet for a night, 2 nights.
Yeah.
Right. Like it took me longer to put the bassinet together than she actually spent sleeping beside us. Before she was in her own crib and chilling.
Well, because we did try in bed for one night and we're both terrified we are going to roll on her and crush her.
Pretty much convinced I killed her, yeah.
So then Bassinet came in, but she was so loud and I'm the lightest sleeper. So we tried that for a night. I'm like, I cannot have her anywhere near me because if I'm going to get any sleep, it's just not happening. And so she was off to her own crib day 3.
Yeah, which did make for, like, full disclosure, it did make for some pretty awful nights because she'd be crying down the hall, right? Crying, and you just had to suffer through it.
Except for the one night she didn't. Did we ever tell that story yet?
No. So she was super quiet, and I, of course, was like, "Oh my god, something's wrong with the baby. I should go check."
She hasn't woken up yet.
And Captain Practical over here, basically in her lack of sleep stupor, said she's not going to be anywhere dead in the morning, so we might as well get some sleep and we'll deal with it then. And it was a cold, hard reality that she was right, and I was overreacting. The kid was fine, and actually was just first starting.
But Andy had to go up to make sure.
Well, yeah,
dead.
because one parent needs to be able to
dead.
say, "Yeah, I went and checked on the kid." But it's
and I'm like, don't tell me till the morning because I need a good night's sleep to handle it.
Yeah, yeah.
She's not going to be any deader now or in the morning.
God, it doesn't sound any less cold now, and she's almost 2 decades old. So yeah, for me, the opinion is, yeah, I never had one at the beginning, but I do appreciate the fact that we don't have to deal with it now. We don't have to deal with the kids constantly coming in. Anytime the kids did come into the room in the middle of the night when they were a bit older and sick, Caroline very quickly trained them that her side of the bed was not the sympathetic side of the bed. So lots of good times waking up to a kid puking beside me, which was probably a little less than fun. Mm-hmm. But it all came down to the same thing. You know, we'd get them taken care of and back into their own bed, right? Mm-hmm. Make sure they're good there. So, yeah, my opinion is don't, if you can avoid it. Mm-hmm. But again, it's no different than screen time, right? Like you have to make the decision that you're willing to live with, and you have to make the decision that you're willing to live with the repercussions of.
That's just it.
And we didn't want to give up our nights indefinitely, forever and ever, right? And so we just made that decision. And as tough as it was some nights where it would have been easier just to bring the kid in and console them and make them go to sleep, longer term now is both kids know that bedtime is bedtime. They go to their own beds at their specified time. They get ready and they curl up, and they've got their own routines that put them to sleep, usually within 5 minutes of us leaving now, right? Like Maya still to this day at 15 years old, she'll nope out of whatever's going on if she's tired and just go to bed.
Yeah, like 8:30.
Yeah,
still.
Willow's a bit more of a challenge. She likes to fight it a bit more, but when the routine starts, it definitely drags on a bit more for her. There's a lot of things that need to happen. Like she couldn't remember if she hugged one of the dogs, or where did her mask go, or all these things that are irrelevant. She tries to stall a bit, but yeah, once she's in her bed, she's asleep. She's done. Like she's got her Archie comics or her book or whatever she's reading, and she's out within a few minutes. So yeah, I would say if for anybody that's just starting out, tough it out. Don't bring them in. Don't get them anywhere near your room. Their room needs to be built up as the more safer and comfortable place for them to hang out, not our room. Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm always talking about, tomorrow is going to cost you more than today, right? And today we might do things that are going to be easier, but think for your future self. Your future self is going to hate you because, like so many parents, I always talk about, so many parents will get to start asking the question, how did we get here? Right? Because it starts as one little thing where okay, you can sleep with me. Okay, you can sleep with me. Okay, you can sleep with me. But here's the thing, especially with sleep, parents assume their kids are going to outgrow it. But I'm going to tell you guys, I still have teenage boys, 13, 14-year-old boys who are still sleeping in their parents' beds. They do not outgrow it. It's only going to get harder every single day that you. Now, I want to put a couple disclaimers here. Culturally, there are, like, you got to take into consideration. You always look like you're going to fall asleep when I talk.
Maybe I just have a droopy face.
Maybe. You got to take into consideration, like, I think that this is a family thing, looking at your family values and things like that, right? Sometimes parents, maybe they do believe that co-sleeping up until a certain age is what they want to do. So I think that these are decisions we want to proactively think about. And culturally, for some cultures, it's culturally appropriate to all share one bed. So I think that that's important. There's always disclaimers and exceptions to the rule. But if you are deciding, okay, this is what we want to happen, and now it's becoming a problem, and we want to train our children to sleep in their own bed, today is the best day to do that. So I think that that's really important. I just want to put that disclaimer out there. For us, we knew for us to be the parents that we wanted to be, we needed a good night's sleep. And the only way to get a good night's sleep is if the children were in their own bed, even as babies. So lots of positive attention and everything every other time. But we swaddled. So we did all the practical things, making sure the babies aren't too hot. There's so many kids that have so many layers on. I remember one little guy, he was probably 2 or 3, and the parents were just beside themselves. We can't get him to sleep. But they had a onesie on and then a jumper, and then they swaddled him, and then they had blankets on top of him. I'm like, this kid is overheating. No wonder he can't fall asleep. They need cool. Their body's got to cool down. Having a warm bath right before bedtime, that's heating the body up. That's alerting the body. That's not going to be helpful. So, there's environmental things that we can be doing to help promote sleep, dimming the lights, calming music, cooling the body down. So making sure they're not too hot nor too cold either.
Right.
But we swaddled, my gosh, until she was like 4. She loved being swaddled. Yeah. Like it was abnormal, I think.
Like her feet were sticking out like a good 1.5 feet below the blankets because we didn't have big enough blankets.
Yeah. Those little swaddling blanket things. So, we did all of those things. We would check on her if we thought, okay, maybe, just making sure those basic needs were being met. But she was pretty good. I mean, we got rid of naps very quickly. I think within a few months, for sure by the time she was 1.
Yeah, I think by 1. I think we tried for the first year pretty much. We knew they were inconsistent leading up to her first birthday.
I mean, the first few months they were very consistent. After that, though, she has ADHD, and it just, naps were a nightmare. Then bedtime was a nightmare. So we actually gave up naps. And she had early bedtimes because it's, I've talked about second wind, where kids are going to bed too late. We're keeping them up too late, and then they get a second wind, and now they're spiraling. And her perfect point was around that 6:30 bedtime. Putting her to bed later was harder, and she would still wake up earlier. So 6:30 was her peak time. That's when she was getting drowsy and sleepy. And so the timing piece is going to be really important too, because I think if we keep them up later, then they're going to sleep in and sleep better. No, like that, we're just going to mess things up, and they're going to get a second wind at any age. It doesn't even matter with babies. So creating those routines, putting her to bed, we had given up naps, that made a huge difference. She would cry a little bit, but we could tell, if there was something, she was really upset, we would still go into her. But otherwise, we did the sleep training, just kind of let her. And she would, we had white noise machine, and she was able to calm down quite quickly.
Yeah.
Willow was a champ sleeper. We never had any problems with her. As kids get older, though, we got to kind of look at what's going on. Oftentimes it's like anxiety that might be getting in the way. So, once they are older and they have language, and, we can look at what some of those worries are. Maybe it's that a monster is going to eat them, or maybe I have a lot of my older kids who worry about being able to fall asleep, and they're scared they won't fall asleep. And they need mom or dad next to me. So that's another, whether they're co-sleeping with you or they need you to fall asleep, you need to get that nipped in the bud right away. So, it's a matter of talking, first of all, if they understand, just to be able to say, hey, kiddo, your body knows exactly what it needs to do.
Yeah.
It's not our business to try to make it to fall asleep. The more we try, it's just like when I say, don't think of a white polar bear. Whatever you do, don't think of a white polar bear. The first thing you're going to think of is that white polar bear.
I thought of an elephant that time.
Or an elephant. Okay, there you go. But the more we try and the more we stress, we're just going to, stress out. So it's just like our heart. Do you worry about your heart? Do you think about how your heart beats? If they do, maybe you don't use that as an example, but it's none of our business. Our heart knows what to do. So we got to get out of its way to let it do its thing. Same thing with sleep. There has never been a night where you have not fallen asleep.
Yeah.
Your body is going to do it. So let it do it. Let it do its thing. So we can have that conversation. Now, if they are needing you, so again, it's creating a plan. Collaboratively, we're going to sit down and saying, this is what we're going to do. Now, here's the thing. We have zero control over their behaviors. This is the point that I'm going to repeat all the time. We can't force them to go to sleep. We can't force them to stay in bed. We can't force them to do these things. We can encourage, so maybe it's you're staying in bed. We're going to put some books next to you. Ideally, you want to get rid of everything in the bedroom so that they're not up playing. I remember when Maya had books, always had books, and we'd find her in the closet sometimes, once we took her out of the crib.
Where she learned that from?
As we're sitting in a closet. But being able to create that rule and saying, I'm going to read you one book. We're going to read one book together. I'm going to sing 3 songs, hug, kiss, goodnight. If it's a kiddo that you've always had to fall asleep, maybe you change things up a little bit. Maybe it's, I'm going to check on you. We're going to set the timer and I'm going to check on you every 2 minutes or every 5 minutes. You are not to come out. If you're still in your room, I will come check on you. You can have tickets. I love tickets where it's, you get 3 tickets for the week. If there really is an emergency, if you have to go to the bathroom and they're able to by themselves, you can do that. You don't need to bug us, right? There's things that you can do.
Right.
If there's an emergency though, you've got 3 tickets. So you got to really think about, is this a big enough ticket that I need to give to mom or dad to come and get them? Right.
Yeah. Full disclosure, it always is thought to be a big enough one, no matter how small. So they use them fast.
Yeah. But they will learn. So if you create boundaries and a plan, so my girls knew. So Andy at the beginning had talked about how I had taught my girls very fast not to come bug me if they're getting up in the night. He was softy. So they knew I can go and see daddy and
vomit. It was vomit they came to me for. It's not like they were coming for a conversation. They threw up beside my head.
It generalized to that because then they were worried, I can never wake up mom. So better not wake her up when I'm sick, which was lovely for me.
No, it was not lovely at all.
It was awesome.
It was disgusting.
Because I got to keep sleeping. But they learned that I was never going to engage them. Right. They just learned that mommy is not going to, it's not that she's going to ignore me, but it's bedtime. It's bedtime. It's bedtime. I kind of get into the broken record, right? Go back to bed. And that's it. I don't say anything. I don't engage them. I'm not looking at them. I'm not trying to reassure them. I'm not trying to lecture them. I'm not trying to do any of those things. They know what the plan is.
Yeah.
If you have a ticket, fantastic. I'll respond. If you don't have a ticket, I'm not talking to you after 8 o'clock. That's it. Parenting duties are over. You're on your own.
Yeah.
You're on your own. You're on your own. So they learn that really fast. And I think so again, that's where we come in, where we can be consistent with our behaviors, what we're going to do and how we respond. The minute we start engaging in the fight of go back to bed and come on, okay, one more drink and one more this and one more that, we're always going to be doing that every time. They're going to push the boundaries.
Yeah.
So it's being able to lay that plan down, and they understand it really at any age, right? With Maya, one thing that we did for her that was actually a huge success is we had one of those sunrise clocks.
Yeah.
The rule was she was not allowed out of her room to come bug us. So if she had to go to the bathroom or get a drink, whatever, that was fine. But she could not get out of her room to come bug us until that alarm went off in the morning with the sunrise. And she always was up early. She'd get up and she'd maybe read. And this was even when she was like 2-3 years old, right? She just knew, I can open the door when my sunrise clock is up, on, off, right? Or, going off. So that helps her signify. Kids learn. If we are consistent as parents with our expectations, they learn those things. And you can try the plan for a week. Check in. We're going to just try this for a week. I'm going to come check on you every 5 minutes, and I'm going to do it 5 times. And then you have to just, and we're going to give them strategies, whatever that is.
Yeah.
If it is anxiety, I think there's a little bit more that I would need to say, but it's really just creating that plan and saying, this is what we are going to do as parents. And if you come out, cool, but we are not engaging. Like, it's after 8, parenting duties are off at 8. We say that a lot.
We do that a lot. Does that planning, like that idea, still work when the kid is older?
Yeah, absolutely. Doesn't matter what the age is.
Okay.
How much information we do, how much collaborating we do, how complex it gets, really depends on the age. Yeah. Okay. So like a 2-year-old, our friends have a little girl. So that's kind of what I'm assuming prompted this question. Yeah. Because we were just talking about this. With her, it's just, you're going to stay in bed. Maybe you'll have a real little alarm. When this rings, mommy's going to be right back and I'm going to give you another kiss, right? Yeah. So it might be something like that. She's old enough to understand that, but your job is to stay in bed, and then I'll come back. Tickets probably will still be a little hard for her at that age. As they get older, if they understand a ticket system. And I would sweeten the deal by, if you don't cash in any tickets, like if you don't use them through the week, you can cash them in at the end of the week for something awesome. Or you just do it night by night. If you don't use your ticket, something awesome the next morning. For younger kids, you would definitely want to do that just because the week would be too long. So, but for older kids, if they can cash those in for something awesome for the weekend. So I think, those are some really basic things that we can focus on. And, the girls still like having sleepovers. Sure.
But that's an exception to the rule, not the rule, right?
Totally. Yeah. And that could even be the reinforcement, that we can have a sleepover on the weekend. I allow sleepovers. I mean, Maya's, I think she thinks it's weird now being a teenager, but she did up until 14. She's like, can I come and have a little sleepover? Right. And then it was just a big thing where we can hang out and whatever. And that's fine. Because it's not a problem, right? As soon as we get airy-fairy and sometimes we're letting them sleep with us and sometimes not, and there's not clear, consistent boundaries and expectations, that's where it becomes a problem. If you embed it within a reinforcement plan, that's cool. But as long as they're not now expecting and they're sliding back into the old things. I think for us, it was easy because it never really was a problem. We really created very firm expectations very young. And you want to start very young because like I said, it's going to slowly get to the point where you're like, how did we get here? I thought they were going to outgrow this. And now they're 14, still in our bed. Yeah. That's a problem.
That'd be weird.
Or, a lot of, as they get older, I just find parents are either sleeping now in the kids' rooms or they've got a mattress at the end of their bed, right? Yeah. So maybe they're not in the bed with them, but
they're still in the room.
It's still a problem. Yeah. They need to be able to sleep in their own room. And then I've got other kids who've shared rooms with siblings, and now it's a problem if they have to go into their own room, but it's the same sort of ideas.
So I shared a room once with Chris. It's not an experience I would recommend because there was a lot of, per the previous episodes or per the episode about sibling rivalry, There's a lot going on. There's a lot of throwdowns in the middle of the night, right?
I had to share a room with my brother once when he was a baby. And they weren't even nightmares because I was wide awake, like hallucinations almost, where I'd see and it looked like mattresses were falling on top of him. Like it just freaked me out.
Were you holding the mattresses and dropping them?
No, I was in my bed looking across the room and seeing these
That's
mattresses.
weird.
It freaked me out. Yeah,
That's weird.
It freaked me out. I think just never had. I'd been an only child up until I was 6, right?
Yeah.
So 6.5.
So he ruined it. What you're saying is he ruined your childhood.
He did not, but I definitely had a lot of
He didn't take the bait.
nightmares. He ruined my teenage years. No, I'm just kidding. He's a good kid.
A good kid. He's a good fully grown man.
So mean to him.
You should call him
so bad.
on the podcast so people could hear how these phone calls go.
So yeah, I mean, I think that's in a nutshell. I mean, obviously it's a matter of, trying it out. What do you need to tweak? It's just the first plan is never going to be the perfect plan. So don't throw it all out the window. It's like, okay, what worked well? What do we need to tweak or give it a good go for a few days?
Well, it's like any of the plans or the behavior plans that we talked about is that, the behavior is going to get worse. Most likely it's not going to work. So you're going to have to keep at it for a long time.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. Do you think that I can't think of more ideas?
No, I think that's basically it, right? Like it's about the reinforcement of the behavior you want. We spent a lot of time trying to make their rooms not full of distractions, but really comfortable for them. So they had a fair amount of say in where the bed went and what kind of blankets they had that it make the most. Like try and get them. I remember trying to get them involved, both of them in hand. And even to this day, they constantly are trying to mess with their room to make it into this uber space that they just never want to leave, right? But that was part of it.
But a haven to sleep in too, that will be comfortable, that they want to be in.
Now it's more multi-purpose. As they're older, it's more multi-purpose, right? They've got desks in there now and they've got reading areas. But still nothing crazy. Like no TVs, no computers, none of that crap.
No toys. We've never allowed toys in there. It's really just books.
Yeah. It's always just books and then how they configure it. Books and the desk. But yeah, that's really about it. The one thing that I don't know that we touched on is make it so that they're comfortable in there.
Yeah.
So it feels like a place they want to be in. And then just reinforce the rules that it's their space, just like the big room is our space.
And they both love their beds. They've made it like Maya's, our teenager, is just this. I love it too. I love going down there. It's just got pillows and stuffies and it's so comfortable. Like it's just a place you want to go and be in.
Yeah. So
having that piece, that's that kind of the proactive. And then of course there's the other proactive things, when I'm talking about getting them ready, no screens, for sure an hour before bedtime, ideally 2 hours before bedtime, but I know that's not always realistic. No big meals, no big exercising, 3 hours before. Protein, maybe a small snack before bed, a little bit of protein. Like there's those types of things that we can be doing.
For any of you parents that use screen time as your last thing, and we'll just watch one little thing and then you get lights out, that's bad. Well, that's so bad.
And that's where when we have problems with Willow, it's usually because we've just watched a little show. And I did establish a rule. We don't start anything after 7 o'clock, right? Like that's it. If we're already watching something and it's going over 7, that's fine. But we're not starting anything after 7, just to be able to create that space. And I do find too, just going back to Willow, it's easier when we are getting up stairs with her and getting ready. We're not with her, but we come up and we're also getting ready. So I start brushing my teeth when she's brushing her teeth. I think that when we're getting ready too, that can be really helpful. It's usually when we're going to stay behind, whether to do a podcast or to have our own little date night, or if I have to work, that's usually where she's up and down and up and down.
And just one more thing. I just wanted to say one more thing. Yeah. Well, totally.
So, yeah.
All right. That answers it then.
Awesome.
Excellent.
Thank you.
So like, subscribe, and
Facebook group.
Join our Facebook group.
We've got a Facebook group now.
Finally, with real people on it.
Yeah. Like in one day.
Yeah, there's
like tons.
I don't know any of these people because I'm
and rate. I think rating is a thing too. If you rate the podcast, I think that helps too.
Man, we got this locked in.
Like on Apple Podcasts.
We got this so dialed in.
I know. Cool beans.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.